Okay, got it. So you jump on that.
Thank you for shutting that. She's got that 2 minutes.
Yeah. Sure.
Seven o'clock, call the meeting to order. All right, quickly. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Get something on your phone that's saying pledge with us.
I need a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Then moved and seconded to approve the agenda. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Well, let's take the ZBA right off the bat.
Okay, so we had somebody apply for a variance at 134 Second Street. They want to put a garage on their property. As you know, most of the lots up through Hart's Plat are very small. Our ordinance calls for 25 feet setback from the backyard and 10 from the side. They're asking the bill put it to 10 feet from their backyard and 5 feet from the side. Notices got sent out to all the neighbors, properties within 300 feet of the property, got published in the newspaper. I only had one person call me on it, and that was a gentleman that lives directly across the road from the property. And the way he worded it is he'd rather see all their stuff put in a garage than out.
Isn't there a utility easement across
Yep,
the back?
Yep,
There'll be access for that?
correct.
Okay, that was my only main concern.
That's just my thought too.
Cause I know, I can say personally, I put a shed in,
Mm-hmm.
and before I could remortgage, they made me move the shed, the mortgage company did, so I just, you know,
Because it was technically on the easement alley,
it was encroaching the easement lane,
Right.
so.
but they're aware of that, so. I don't think anybody is here from for that though. So,
Is this just an individual residence looking to do this, or
Yes.
is this gonna set precedent for other people wanting to do the same thing?
our neighbors are already closer to the property lines than what they're asking for.
Okay.
Their neighbor just to the east of them. Like I said, it's hard when you're up throughout the village, like the little Harts Plat up in that end of the town. So yeah, this is the most common type of variance we get requests for. So, but we haven't had a variance request in, what I say, about 5 years. So it's not a common thing.
So it's really not an issue with any neighbor.
No, like I said, only one of them called me.
My big question was just the utility
Well,
easement in the
that
back.
was my thought
Yeah.
also.
You know.
I don't see no reason not to approve it.
Is that a motion?
I'll make a motion we approve it.
I'll second that.
And moved and seconded to,
Do we have to do two separate ones?
So, no, you can do it in one motion. I will just say that your zoning ordinance does say if you're gonna grant a variance, I mean, you're allowed to attach conditions to it, which it sounds like that's not really what the board is leaning towards. But in general, the reason you grant variances is when a strict application of the zoning language shows that this is gonna create an exceptional hardship for someone in general. I mean, they are asking for an exception to the zoning ordinance, and so typically I suggest if you're gonna go ahead and grant the variance, that you do so kind of identifying, look, these are some of the specific reasons why we believe this exception is appropriate in this case.
So due to small lot size?
small lot size and put the
Yes.
stuff inside, undercover.
Right,
Well-
it'll clean the yard up if he does build a garage, and the small lot size makes it so he just about has to do this anyway, so. Yeah, you better add that, please.
And are you okay with adding that to the motion?
Don't mean to be nitpicky, but I
Well,
like,
no,
there's better
Do it
fit
like-
than
do it like
language
the
to
first time.
support it.
Would you
Yeah,
like me to do a
yeah.
roll call vote or? Majority.
Sure, yeah, you do need to do, I would recommend a roll call because this needs to be voted by the majority of the entire ZBA, which.
Clark?
Yay.
Morris?
Yay.
Walker?
Yay.
Griswold? Yes. Suzy Clark? Yay. Lilly? Kinkade? Okay, got it.
It's carried. Move on to the normal. Police report,
Order in the packet.
fire report.
In July, we had 34 runs, 15 fires, 17 medicals, 2 PIs. The fire runs were, we had 5 down wires. We had a water investigation here in the village, which was found up they small natural gas at the generator and the big sewer gas. We had 1 smoke investigation. Oxford asked us to cover the station twice. We don't go down there to cover the station, we cover it from our hall because we don't have the manpower to go down there to send people. We false alarms and 3 fires with no loss.
Good work. Council got any questions?
Thank you.
County Commissioner.
Thank you, Mr. President, Mr. Council. We've had a couple meetings since last time. On the full board meeting of July 23rd, we approved the annual remonumentation grant from the Michigan Department of Licensing and Regulatory Affairs in the amount of $58,815. That is done through the county surveyor as they locate the quarter posts throughout the county. They do about 10 a year, so it takes a long time. Most of them were set over 100 years ago. We also created a new position of a deputy court administrator to give us some continuity if we have an administrator leave or have to take some time off, and we therefore eliminated the position of administrative projects manager. We appointed Marci Kinkade of Metamora Township to the vacant position on the jury board. We also talked a lot about senior millage, and I'm pleased that it passed, and also as a resident of Metamora Township, pleased that the police millage passed as well. On our committee of the whole meeting last Thursday, August 13th, we raised the amount charged for live scan fingerprinting by community corrections by $3 as the FBI increased the cost to the community corrections by $3. So we're simply passing that along. We also approved a federal grant for $16,109 to purchase a new live scan fingerprinting machine for the Sheriff's Department. We also approved renewal of contracts with Clemens. That's the Court and Law Enforcement Management Information System out of Oakland County. And we have it for District Court, Sheriff's Department, Prosecuting Attorney, and Animal Control. And finally, we approved the Health Department to accept money from the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services, emergency health threat, up to $35,000 for costs in the cyclosporious outbreak of lettuce thing. Because it takes a lot of work to try to figure out where people ate when they got sick, and the state will reimburse us for that. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
DDA.
No, planning commission.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
Oh, we actually had something to do in our meeting. We approved the building for Glenn Bruce down at his industrial property. And the building is 110 by 110, and it's gonna be used for storage. He cleaned his lot up too.
I know he's been cleaning up a bunch of stuff down there.
Right.
So
Yep,
he's all approved and set to go then, eh?
he's ready to roll. Once he has just come up with enough money to pull it off.
I wasn't DDA.
I wasn't there.
I wasn't there.
Dan, what'd you guys do at the DDA last month?
I don't remember.
It was just a quick meeting.
We didn't
have, yeah, it was
Okay.
nothing to report.
Turn report, everything probably down below.
Yeah, another report.
Council communications.
Sewer lagoons, the dredging for the sewer lagoons has been pushed back again, due to some of the land that they apply it to, the farmers not having the wheat off the property yet, so they're kind of holding off. And at their timeline they were originally giving us would have put us right in Metamora days, which can't happen, so they're now looking at like the week after Metamora days.
How firm are we on that now? This has
I
been
know.
pushed and pushed.
I know,
We're all
I mean,
positive.
I get the weather holds it up and that it has to be
There's only
landslide.
there's only a few companies that'll even do it, so we're kinda at their,
And I mean, all the land that they apply it to has to get approved by the state, so every time it gets pushed back, they have to get approvals again, so. It's,
at least the new well's in the ground and the casing's in the ground.
I was gonna talk about that under meeting
Yeah.
well.
Well, I
Okay,
just wanted to quick mention it, and we can move on. It's on the agenda.
I know it's on the agenda, but my question is, what about protection around that? Some wood posts, something?
Can we talk about that under well, are you talking about the well?
That's fine,
Okay,
yeah, I'm talking about the well.
just since it's on an agenda,
Yeah.
agenda
Yeah, I
item,
see
so.
that, but
Okay. Guess I need a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll make that motion.
And moved and seconded to approve the consent agenda. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. So we're up for public time.
Who'd like to go first?
Stand up, sit down.
Please.
Yep.
Stand up, please.
You get 3 minutes.
3 minutes. I prepared a little statement, but my name is Rodney Church. My family and I live at 96 Deep Stone Drive. Over the past month, we've had 2 sewer backups through our shower drain in our basement. The first occurred during the weekend of July 10th. I called the village office the following week and spoke to someone in the office, and she mentioned there's probably an issue with our sewer line coming out of our house, and that is our responsibility to fix it. That week, I called Keith Grace Plumbing to come over, camera line, to see if they could identify the issue. They explained that they were able to push through the camera, through our yard, into the main line, and the camera footage showed a large quantity of sewage throughout the entire main that runs east to west in front of my house, parallel to the street. They told me to report this to the city as soon as possible so they could address the issue, or we'll continue to have issues down the road. So the next day I called the village office, spoke to the same person. She told me the village uses an outside contractor that oversees water operations, and that person was not in, but they would call me back. To my surprise, I have not received a call back. A few days later, I was chatting with a neighbor who happened to have a contact with the person who works with the contractor. Spoke to them, they said they would look into it. A few days later, I was told there was no fog in the main and that the pipe is bellied, which is causing sewage to stay put. He wouldn't tell me what they could do or what should be done, but he didn't seem too interested in helping us out. Fast forward this past weekend, over Saturday night into Sunday, we had the same issue, sewage backup in our basement. As you can imagine, the entire house smelled like raw sewage, to the extent of like a week-old portable toilet. We had called Surf Pro out to clean it up. The smell isn't better, but we still have damage to our basement. The reason why this is so upsetting is it's not only happened to my house, but my neighbor across the street at 77 Jamestown. I believe it might have something to do with the two lowest houses in that subdivision. I understand there was some shoddy work over the development when they first built that. However, I don't think that's our problem. I think we need to try to come to a solution to fix it. Another reason why this is so upsetting, we recently renovated our basement, spent thousands of dollars to fix it and make it how we want. I'm hopeful the village can get a hold of this, come out and investigate and figure out a solution to help us out. I have a few of my neighbors here, although they may not have an issue right now, but down the road they could. So I'm hoping we can prevent this issue so it doesn't cause any more issues down the road. I look forward to hearing from someone soon so we can get to the bottom of this issue. Thank you for your time.
Can I go next? Okay. My name is Sarah Pendergast. I live at 46 Jamestown Drive in Metamora also. I have a bill that I have a screenshot of from 2014 causing from a sewage backup. Cost over $2,000 to fix it. That was just a drop in the bucket. We had a lot of other expenses to pay after the sewage backup in our basement from 2 years ago. So obviously I'm very concerned about Ronnie's place, but I'm also concerned about ours and the other houses in our neighborhood. We shouldn't have to worry about having to repeatedly clean up sewage, deal with damage to our property, and live with the stress and uncertainty of wondering when it will happen again. We are asking the township to take this matter seriously and provide residents with clear answers. What is causing these backups? It sounds like Ronnie's done some due diligence and trying to figure out what's going on. But obviously it's a township issue if it's affecting the entire street. Like I said, it's not only happened to Ronnie's house, it happened to the neighbors across the street. I believe that was their third time having to deal with it. I heard that they had 3 inches of sewer water in their basement. Ours was a significant issue, not even close to that though, and it caused a significant amount of money to fix. So we want to have you guys investigate this issue thoroughly, communicate openly with the affected homeowners. I haven't heard any communication about this, and commit to finding a lasting solution. We just don't want to continue to live with this risk of sewage backing up into our homes. So, that's all I have.
Yeah, my name is Dave Schultz. I live at 104 Jamestown Drive. Kind of touching on what Rodney said, there appears to be a belly in the sewer main, and that's holding back sewage. So, talking to Brian from F&B, what needs to happen is that needs to be jetted, and we need to see what the issue is holding that back. The maintenance needs to be done. He claims that the village will attempt to spend 20 hours a month or a week or whatever it is to address these things, so he doesn't have time to quite do that. The other issue is the water issue. The water is very brown, disgusting. It's not being flushed the way it should be through the American Water Works Association. I've worked in Oakland County for 25 years doing this. I know how it works. When it goes out and flushes the hydrant for 30 minutes, that's not enough. Oakland County, we spend 6 hours on flushing a hydrant, just because it clears up, pulls tuberculation, which is iron deposit buildup in the water main. That's gotta get cleaned out. So, what I would suggest is Michigan Rural Water Association, they will help out small towns like Metamora, villages that don't have the money and the funds maybe to do it the right way. I would suggest contacting them and have you guys be taught how to properly flush a water distribution system, because it's getting ridiculous with the constant change in the water filters in line, the amount that we pay for water bills and the increase in the water rates, and we're still getting poor quality drinking water, and we have to buy bottled water, and what we pay for this stuff is not right. Thank you.
That's the public time.
I'll go if nobody else can go. Karen Pacheco, I do live here in the village. So there's still the lie on the sign in Metamora Community Park. That park was not established in 2025. It was established in 2016, even though I was lied to and told that it wasn't a park. So you're gonna have to change that, or I'm gonna keep saying it every single time until you do. So I gave you 3 months of complaints because I had printer issues the last few months. So there's an awful lot in there. That's hours of work for me. I'm never gonna let 3 months build up again. But take a look at the trends in there. People driving golf carts around in the dark with babies on their laps. That's pretty scary. And I also just want to note the concerts that are out here, and I've brought this up a million times, not safe setup whatsoever. If we had a fire marshal, we wouldn't allow it, right? But there was one in particular in July, and I noted that in there. It was just packed. That was a very popular night. It was packed with vehicles. And then all those vehicles are leaving in the dark. And isn't there an ordinance here that you have to have a lit parking lot, and then there's all that in the dark? But is there like a point that you guys are going to be like, oh, that's too many vehicles, we need to clear them out so people can enjoy the concert? Because it looked to me like you were at that point that day. So someone should have a safety plan, and every time I've FOIA'd one, there's not one here. So, I was in the archives at the library last week for a lot of hours. 1993, April 11th, 1993. Fund has only been super for the lawyers. That is in reference to the Superfund site way back then. And it's been, what, 10 years now that the village has been negotiating to get water out to the people with condemned wells. It's taken a long time. But the most important thing we got to talk about today is the festival that's about to happen. Country Days and Hot Air Balloon Festival. I bring this up and people roll their eyes, and that's fine. Who's the fire marshal in charge? We've got rough estimate is 10,000 people. Who knows, could be a lot more than that, coming to this village with only 4 ways in and out. Who's the fire marshal in charge? Because this should not be happening without a fire marshal. Absolutely, it should not. Particularly with all of the things that I reported to you again and again and again. But you guys passed the plan that's hardly a plan at all. You had less information than you had last year. And guess what? Last year we had blocked hydrants. We didn't have fire lanes. There were steel rods blocking the way that the fire trucks would have needed to access places. This is unacceptable, and I will get louder until you fix it. And I brought this up, and then Bill Holden said something that I found really offensive about it. But remember what happened in Grand Blanc last September? Somebody in my family was a first responder there. Everywhere has to be ready for something like that to happen. Unfortunately, that's just life. That's human nature. So are we ready for that? How many police will be on deck here for 10,000 people coming? What are each of you going to do to make sure that that is a safe event?
Time's up.
Thank you.
Any more public time? Now I guess we'll move on to unfinished business. Water main protection.
Nothing new.
Yeah, I mean, just the emails that you saw, so.
Okay, well, number 1.
So they did come in, they drilled the well, they've done the casing, they've done the grout, and they've developed it as of 8/13. The next step is to coordinate with the engineers to perform the 24-hour pump down test and then the 8-hour recovery test. He said as soon as he found out a date for that, he'd let us know. He said it shouldn't be, it should be within the next week or 2 at the very latest. So, and who's he? Joel Diamond from Lions, from the well drilling company. So they hope to have it all up and running before Metamora Days, that's the plan. They do know that we have a festival and that they should barricade it off.
They've been told and warned, so.
So, I know that was a question you had, Suzy. But yeah, so everything's moving along with the new well, and hopefully it'll be up and running ASAP.
We can get a lot of the water problems
Correct.
straightened out a little easier, I think.
We have a contingency plan if they drop the ball on securing that opening.
I mean, we can look at it and see what we can do, but
I mean, I just worry, 'cause
Right.
we know the amount of cars are going out
Right.
there, and now we just got this. The other question I have is, I believe it's a pump on the backside.
Mhm.
Is that, it's not gonna be used in this well,
no,
correct?
that was from our old one that we finally got back from Peerless. It's the pump, not the motor, it's just the pump
That's a
part.
pump that, it's a turbine pump that goes down in the well.
Right.
It's driven
Okay.
by a top head drive motor.
How many
rod going all
tons
the way
does
down.
that weigh?
It weighs a lot.
Is it, how long is it?
6 feet maybe?
I was thinking like 10, but
About 10 foot,
Oh.
there's 4 or 5 sections of it, I
Yeah.
think.
Is there any way we can get it over the barn?
Well, we're kind of running out of room in the barn too. We need to put some kind of an addition out there.
we can try to get it moved over to the
Yeah.
I
barn.
mean, it should be
We're in
secure,
that area.
it should be out of the
Right.
elements, I would say.
But that's where Peerless dropped it when they brought it, and I
Well,
wasn't,
it's not surprising, but,
right.
you know.
We at least finally got it
Well,
back.
And it would have been all right if we got things going more on getting that old tank out in the
Right.
floorboard up there in that building, but that's been kind of pushed off to the side for a little bit until they get the well straightened out and done,
Is that gonna be after the Metamora Days? Then?
Yeah.
Okay.
so.
But yeah, I can see if we can get it moved over.
Okay. Nothing else on that, new business.
Well, what's the next step now for this process overall, as far as, is there more testing involved?
Yeah, the
or-
24-hour pump test and 8-hour recovery test. That's all they said is like the next steps. I don't know if that's the final steps. They make it sound like it was.
They've already done their water test and got that all approved by the state.
Well, if they're saying it should be up and running by Metamora Days, then I would say that would mean it's complete, ready to
Right.
be put in service.
Correct.
Just
That's
silly
the
me,
goal.
but.
Would imply that.
Yeah.
But that's just, if everything goes right along for them and everything gets scheduled right,
That's the plan.
that's the plan.
But we've seen how that's worked out with the lagoons sludge jet.
STC, subject to change. I hate to say,
Which way's the wind blowing now?
I guess. New business, motor attachment for the tractor.
So I had Brian Lee go over to Rosie Brothers to get us a quote for an attachment to go on the front of the tractor to mow, basically like going down into the lagoons, because right now, the state has dinged us for growth of weeds into the lagoon, so we've had Edwards come out and mow it a couple times now, at $1,200 a time. So, and it has to be done quite a few times a year. So, I got a quote from what Rosie Brothers and Brian both agreed would work. Plus, this can go vertical, so it can go like down like the service road down here and trim back some of the trees. It can
The trail's up.
the trails up in, you know, the other park. So it's kind of versatile, so it'd be kind of nice to be able to have something that we could use in more than just for one thing. The cost of it is $12,365 and then $300 for them to transport. So to come get our tractor, take it there, and then bring our tractor back. So then they put the machine on, they get it all set up, all the hydraulics, everything like that, all set up on the tractor for us. So a total of $12,665. I mean, if we don't go with this one, we definitely have to go with something because I don't want to keep paying an outside company to come in and do what we can do ourselves.
Especially if
We can actually do more with it ourselves,
Right.
you know, more of the trails and keep
And
things
it'll
cleaned up
also,
better.
I've seen one of these before in action. They can also use to be trimmed the trees back on the trails. Other than just mow the side of the trail.
Right.
They can just put it up on the bucket and just go down and trim the tree with it.
And will our DPW guy be trained on what
Yep.
to do with this?
Yep, they said when they bring it back, they would give them training.
Connect, disconnect, all that
Yep.
kind of maintenance.
Yep, that was part of the whole labor and the package. I wanna make sure that not only would the DPW get trained on it, but also the water and sewer guys in case they had to do it down in the lagoon in case it was getting too high. So I wanna
Do we
make.
have a new person in charge of?
We do.
Okay. Now that you mention it.
Yes. But yeah, so he'd gotten another quote, but it wasn't as versatile and it was actually more money. Which I thought was odd.
You just stay on the tractor all the time.
No, it can come off. Yeah, so he can either
Most
put
of
the
them are
bucket
fairly
on.
quick attachment.
Yeah, they're like a quick, I think it's called a quick attach,
Quick attach.
where they can
You don't
attach.
have to pay it back over there.
No, just the first initial time.
And this goes on the zero turn?
No, the tractor.
Tractor.
A Kubota tractor.
With this type of equipment, it's gonna get a lot of use. Is there warranty on it at all, or?
I think, I only printed off some of the paperwork. So they include a 1-year limited warranty through the actual company itself. I didn't hear anything from Rosie Brothers as far as if they offer like an extended warranty. I can look into it, but
If it's available, you know, it might be worth.
look into it.
Depending on what it covers, you know.
Right.
If it's operator issues, they're probably not gonna cover it,
Right.
but.
So I would like it if we could purchase this as soon as possible so we can not have the words come back out. No offense to them, but I'd rather do it ourselves if we can.
What do you think the estimated visit for us, or?
1,200.
No, I mean, how many
Oh.
times do you think this year, just rough estimate?
I don't
Is
think
there-
they've done it yet this year, have they? They just ripped the access road?
No, the lagoons.
Just to run.
Just the lagoons. And that was 1,200 for them to come out, and it took them 1 day. And I don't know, I know he was trying to schedule them to come out again because it's getting really bad.
Because the state is staying on us and on it.
As they should, but, so I don't know how many times a year. And obviously we can stay on it a little better if we have machine ourselves as opposed to waiting for it to get to the maximum level and calling somebody out.
Like we said, we can use it for other things around here quite a bit too, you know.
I'd like to make a motion that we go ahead and purchase it.
And move and second to go ahead and purchase the attachment, mower attachment for the Kubota. All in favor say aye, or no?
Do you want me to do roll call, cause it's
Yeah,
12,000?
probably makes sense, given the size.
Roll
Yep.
call, I'm sorry.
That's okay. Roll call vote, Clark?
Yay.
Morris?
Yay.
Walker?
Yay.
Griswold?
Yes.
Suzy Clark?
Yeah.
Lilly?
Yes.
Kinkade?
Yay.
Thank you.
F&B capacity study and phosphorus reduction study.
So we started a phosphorus reduction study way back in like 2021 with F&B, and they never finished. Surprise. That's when they started having all the issues with their management and things like that. That's when we started noticing a lot of issues. So, like I had mentioned, the state Eagle has given us some violations, and so one of them being they want us to have a phosphorus study because our phosphorus in our lagoons is high, which then causes it to be hard for us to discharge the lagoons. We have to get the phosphorus down by adding the ferric, which takes time.
Right.
Takes some time, and then sometimes we run out of time and can't discharge both lagoons fully. So they want us to do a phosphorus study, and they also want us to do the capacity study. So F&B has made up a proposal for us, and the proposal total is $23,100 for both studies.
Didn't you just have the capacity?
No, we haven't done a lagoon capacity.
So my question is, if we paid them to do it once before.
We did not pay them. So they bill when they do things and as they bill us, like monthly.
They were supposed to do it,
They started some of the preliminary stuff and then somehow they dropped the
but now
ball.
we got better management we can deal with. So somebody's there cracking the whip, making them
Do
do
we
it.
have, like a maintenance schedule or something that we track to make sure these things are being done?
I mean, not really, just what the state mandates, as far as like a lagoon study and capacity study, or?
Yeah, I guess a lot of stuff like that, if we could have like a list so that we knew these
Every
things would
area is
get
different
run.
though, it depends on, you know, your reading, so that's when the state comes down and says it's time to do this, it's time to quit do it.
So how often do we typically discharge?
Twice a year.
Twice a year?
It's May and October.
I think some of that might help once they get it ready,
Correct.
you know. Gotta make the capacity a little better, and
Yes.
might help with some of the phosphorus problems.
Correct.
It
Well,
would.
no, that's what they're hoping.
Right.
So anyways, we have a proposal that the state is asking us to do these 2 studies, so.
Would it be something we possibly push off until after that's stretched out?
No, because they still want us to have the studies done.
So basically, you're telling us we don't have a choice, we're doing it.
Correct.
I was gonna say, they're not asking us, they're telling us.
Yes, the state is telling us we're doing these studies, so. Which, like I said, we started a phosphorus study way back in 2021, when we started having phosphorus issues, and then, or 2020, it could have been, but.
So, I know F&B tests the well. If our phosphorus is running too high, are they aware of that? I mean, is there
Yeah, it's not
testing?
anything from us, it's from people putting things down the sewers.
Okay,
It's not in our water, it's,
right, but I'm just saying, is that something that Brian Lee tests?
Yeah.
He knows when it's
yes,
high?
absolutely, they test for that. Maybe be
They
a
have to
weekly test,
before they
but
discharge.
every time before they discharge, they have to test for the phosphorus,
So twice a year.
at least, and I think he does it more often than that, because that's when he adds the ferric if we're starting to get high, that way you're not all of a sudden this high and trying to treat for it, he tries to do it when it's elevated.
But it costs us a lot of money buying the ferric chloride
Correct.
to put in and neutralize it too, you know.
Well, that's why I'm just wondering if it's caught sooner, when it starts rising.
Right.
If
But
it
they
can
add
go-
ferric all the time, all throughout the year, so not just at discharging time.
Alright.
They pretty much telling us we gotta do it anyway, so.
Correct.
Entertain a motion to approve that would be to do the study.
Do we know how long that's all gonna entail?
Just started in 21.
Yeah.
It all depends, because some of it's determined by Eagle, because I know right here it says they participate in 4 one-hour virtual meetings with Eagle, so I mean, it all depends on Eagle's availability and when they can do it. I'm looking to see if they actually give a full timeline here. Cause I didn't see one before when I looked it over, but.
Would it benefit us at all to make sure there's some kind of timeline? So we don't run into the same problem we did before?
I mean, we can, but Eagle's staying on them about it. We had a meeting with Eagle when they brought up that they wanted us to do these. And like I said, a lot of their meetings are depending on Eagle themselves.
They
So it's
have
kind
to
of
be
their
present.
timeline. It's
They
their,
have to be present for the test.
correct.
Okay.
So we're good with,
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure, given how much of this relies on state cooperation, if it goes on the bottom of the pile with the state and sits for a little while, it's similar to some of the problems we've had with getting the well redone is, you know, you can't proceed until you get a permit from the state and it just sits there for weeks. So I hesitate to crack down too hard on timelines on this, just simply because some of this, not that
Right.
F&V hasn't dropped the ball, because they obviously
Right.
have, but some of that's out of their control just because of the state involvement.
I do know that our contact with Eagle, Spencer Matthews, that we deal with about the lagoons, he's pretty cooperative and receptive. Like if I reach out to him, he gets right back to us. So hopefully that's a good sign that things will run smoothly.
For the council's information, I did look over the contract on this. It is a contract that's clearly drafted by the lawyer for F&V. There's a lot of language in here that if I was drafting the contract, I would love it. The thing I would push back on strong, I mean, I also understand, as when we were talking about one of the last times we came up with one of these contracts, there are a limited number of people that will do this type of work for the village, and I understand you have limited options on that. This one does, again, have language in it saying that if there's any litigation, the court venue for court resolution will be Kent County, Michigan. I'll raise the same objection to that I did last time, is that I don't think it's appropriate for the village to do that. And the last time F&B had one of these contracts, I do think they backed off and took that language out of it when the village requested it. So that would be my suggestion. Again, there's other things I would like to change on this, but if you're not shopping this and getting multiple contractors that you can play off against each other, sometimes it's harder to get some of those types of things changed.
Yeah. I can reach out to them and ask them to change that, and I mean, little things like I saw, like they have our PO box still as our address, which we don't use. But yeah, I made a note to have them change that to Lapeer County, because I can't count.
That would just make sense.
Night or table, and review things better.
I would rather move forward and
That's what I'd like to do.
get the state happy
I'll make a motion we accept it with the
with the changes they can.
changes Tina's gonna try to get them
Okay.
to do for us.
I'll second it.
Okay, it's been moving forward,
And seconded.
seconded, move forward on the F&B capacity and phosphorus reduction study. Roll call.
Roll call. Clark,
Yay.
Morris,
Yay.
Walker,
Yay.
Griswold,
Yes.
Suzy Clark,
Okay.
Lilly,
Yay.
Kinkade.
Pass. Yes. Next motion.
Actually, before we close out.
Yeah.
What can we do to address the south issues? I get that looked at.
Well, I wasn't aware that Brian didn't contact him back, because he told me he did, so. And I wasn't aware that there was another issue. I only knew about the one, yours, that I'd spoke to. So yeah, we've known, is it okay that we talk about it, even though it's not on the agenda?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd like to discuss this a little bit. We're not.
We knew that the sewer up there had some low spots from way back in the day when Jim Ball, all the issues with him. And we had it videoed way back then. So there's always been a couple low spots where the water would sit a little bit, but nothing
Nothing that really backed up.
that we were aware
Yeah.
of.
And I know nowadays they make them put in an anti-backflow valve, and which
Right.
wasn't,
Just after that
wasn't
subdivision
stated,
was
it's
built,
not,
you're now required for
Right.
backflow preventers for anything lower than the next upstream manhole.
So I
You
mean,
can put in backwater valves to protect yourselves, yes,
and that's always from the, on the homeowner's side.
yes.
yes.
But that was, that wasn't the restriction
That
or
wasn't
law
going back
back
then.
then, so
Right.
that's,
So yeah, I've made
Another
notes to talk with Brian Lee tomorrow and his boss, Kat, to try to find out what's going on and what they're proposing, if they have any suggestions. Aside from
we need-
backflow
we need to
preventers.
follow up on it besides backflow.
Correct.
But I know that is one thing that they make everybody do nowadays.
They have to be within the house, not outside.
Yeah, look,
Yes,
we need to look right into that.
I definitely will.
Now I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion, we adjourn.
I'll second that.
Been moved and seconded to adjourn, all in favor say aye. Aye, opposed. Everybody for coming out tonight.
It's just after that, subdivision was done, we started getting cameras and everything, and then it all. Great. You won't protect your basement.
Well, I know they're not.